Hightech at SICOS BW. Technologietransfer leicht gemacht.
Welcome to our HPC podcast powered by EXCELLERAT. My name is Andreas Hirse. I'm Managing Director of SICOS BW and we are partner of EXCELLERAT. And also partner of EXCELLERAT is Arctur, and today with us is Tomi Ilijaš, the founder of Arctur, a high-tech company in Slovenia. Tomi, we know each other for a while. He's in the HPC field since more than 15 years. And I'm looking forward to speaking with you about, what you are doing in HPC and in EXCELLERAT. Welcome, Tomi.
Welcome. Yeah, thank you so much.
You have an extensive background in both HPC and entrepreneurship, being a founder, particularly in bringing HPC to SMEs, especially manufacturing SMEs. We have talking about bringing HPC to SMEs for more than a decade, but still some, if not many SMEs are not ready yet to adopt the HPC as we think they should. Could you please share some insights into the challenges that these SMEs face when they try to adopt HPC technologies? And of course, especially how does Arctur address these challenges?
It's quite a tough question, Andreas. You know that. I would say that the first step is the hardest step. When you approach to SMEs, you have to know that there are many family-owned SMEs in Europe, which are very important for European economy. And they have tradition, they have the technology, they have all there. The problem is to adopt something really new, which will make a revolution in their production or sales or whatever strategy they have. So the first of all, I would say we are facing lack of awareness. And we are working now for more than 10 years to raise the awareness among small and medium enterprises around Europe. And once they know what is going on, once they know the technologies there which can help them to compete with the big guys, with the big corporations around the world, then this is the first step. The second step, it's lack of knowledge. Of course, they have to find, or better to say, we have to introduce them centers of know-how who will help them to go to another step. And this is the second step. Of course, this is a lot of discussion between us and the owners, entrepreneurs themselves. It's not just technology. You have to be really, really good in discussion with the entrepreneurs that they really decide to make this step. And then the third step would be lack of resources. At a certain point they have to invest time and money, which both is quite challenging, especially in small and medium enterprises. And then the last but not least is trust. At the end, they have to trust you because they are giving away, the most important thing. This is their industrial know-how, their child, their newborn child, their new technology. They have to trust you that you are not gonna sell this or whatever, mistreat this product.
Well, as you said, this really sounds tough. So actually it's 4 stages, right? And each of those stages is important. So, quite a challenge. Another level or another direction of this is also collaboration between the academic sector and industry, because that, I think, is crucial for advancing these HPC applications. What do you think? What strategies are the most effective in fostering these collaborations, and what role do you see them playing in the future of HPC innovations? I don't know, how close are you working with research with the academic sector?
Very, very much intense. Our collaboration with academia, it's on daily basis. Why? even we put our branch office in the capital of Slovenia, in Ljubljana, to the University of Ljubljana. So we have our staff there, right in the center. Why? I really believe that all students from technical areas, whether mechanical engineers, even biology or other areas, should be introduced somewhere in their studies to the HPC. They should have a couple of, at least couple of hands-on trainings on HPC. This should be like in all schools within Europe. Then those young engineers, young professionals will come to the industry and they will introduce this new technology, and then this could start. Because it's not so obvious that old generations, old, I mean in sense like me and you, Andreas, right, are adopting a new technology. Well, we are professionals in this field, but it's not obvious. So we need young generations to bring. So the first thing is to put more emphasis on studying HPC to the universities, and then of course lots of projects where academia works together with industry, especially with small and medium enterprises, to make new success stories, by introducing high performance computing to the real life, to the real SMEs, and this is the best way. So success stories are the best way of selling, so to say, selling HPC to small and medium enterprises.
So you actually address already by working with the academic sector, you address two of the stages you said. So awareness creation is much easier if you have students that are already aware and go into the company. And then when it comes to deciding whether it makes sense, success stories where successful examples can be shown are really helpful, right?
Exactly, Andreas. This is the right way to do, and this is quite an only way to do it, because you need always a center of know-how. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you also mentioned the other stage, resource constraints. So SMEs often have issues with resources when it comes to adopting these technology. And now we are looking, we are partners in the EXCELLERAT 2 project, phase 2. How can such initiatives support SMEs best in overcoming these barriers and maximizing the benefits of HPC for their businesses?
Everybody knows that top experts from the field of high-performance computing or other cutting-edge technologies are the most expensive experts now in the world. So centers of excellence like EXCELLERAT unite top experts from academia and industry, which possess extensive knowledge, experience, and they understand technology for tailored business solutions. So what we are offering is really precious know-how and experiences to businesses, how they can evolve, how they can adopt new technologies like high-performance computing. So collaboration between SMEs and academia, it's paramount in driving progress. Through the development of codes or use cases, this partnership is really fueling innovation and facilitates the practical application of cutting-edge technologies.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. As you say, this is about industry, SMEs especially, working with academia, and you have a lot of experience with such kind of collaborations. But there is quite a gap between cutting-edge research and then a real-world productive, let's say, business successful application for an SMEs. What advice would you give to the researchers and the entrepreneurs on both sides that want to bridge this gap? What should they look for? What should they do?
Very good point, Andreas. I would say it's a matter of language. Imagine you have Chinese on one side and any of European languages on the other side, and they try to communicate. This is how I really felt. I remember years ago we had a large booth at the Hanover Fair, and it was a large sign of HPC. I know, and at that fair there were like thousands of engineers walking by every minute. There were lots of our potential users, and nobody really knew what HPC is. So we tried to, and then next day we really changed the language. We said, oh, there are simulations. We are helping you to do fluid dynamics or whatever. So, and then they were starting to listen. Before that, HPC, for us, it's a daily phrase, but not for engineering work.
Yeah. Well, if you go to a trade show like Hanover Fair, they probably think it's high performance cutting or something else.
Whatever.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And researchers tend to have their own vocabulary, which is very different from the entrepreneurs, right?
Entrepreneurs and engineering world, it's different. It's also a technology gap. Engineers usually use like Microsoft Windows environment with the mouse and very graphical user interfaces, and then suddenly they come to the HPC/Linux world with a lot of command lines, and it's not that this transfer is so logical. For most of people, this is a step back, in the history, like in old 90s DOS environment or something like that. So there are a lot of gaps, but I would say language is the most important. You have to approach SMEs with entrepreneurs with their language, not with the expert specialized language we are using daily.
Yeah, I fully agree. Now, looking at the let's say promising areas for HPC innovation, especially for SMEs, in the context of SMEs, what do we think are the most promising areas, and what will happen in the next years? Do you see these innovations transforming the industry?
Innovations are transforming industries, definitely, and I would put this into two, let's say, different groups. One are startups, which are innovative by themselves from start, and they really want to do something cutting edge, and sometimes they fail, sometimes they succeed, but this is different. Most of industry is there. They're doing their business for years, for decades, for generations sometimes, and the need of innovation, it's not so obvious in this group, but is a threat. Out there is a threat. There are huge corporations, huge competitors in a global world. This is so much easier now to compete, and they have to compete. These small SMEs from Europe, they have to compete with large Chinese, American, and other corporations, and they have to survive. So it's not a matter of, it would be nice to do some innovation. It's a matter of survival. If you don't go fast ahead, if you don't increase the speed of innovations, it's a really big threat that you will disappear in couple of years. So, and if you're an entrepreneur, you should take these messages very, very serious, and embracing new technologies like high performance computing is, with all the help of European Commission projects like EXCELLERAT, this is something which you really must grab. You must take this opportunity.
Do you see special areas where this will be stronger than others? I don't know, the engineering, the manufacturing, production, digital twin, whatever.
All of this. When we are doing a lot of statistics in like an analysis of our users, I would say it's still half of them are using computational fluid dynamics, solvers for their solutions. But increasingly, and there are many other fields. I'm surprised every time someone approaches us. Wow, even here you can use HPC, which I would never imagine, But what we are facing in last 2 years is a huge increase of AI solutions, which is not really HPC, but you are using more or less the same machines. And yes, it's more and more users trying to do something with AI.
So, Tomi, you spoke about success stories before. Could you share a notable success story or case study where the integration of HPC technologies had a significant impact on an SME's operation or product development process? Something catchy?
Sure. I could bring one of the first of our users. So it was more than 10 years ago when we bought a new supercomputer. We were very excited, we were expecting a queue of customers waiting, for us to deliver services, but it was not like that. There were nobody out there, So we were really disappointed and trying to sell this huge brand new supercomputer, and I called my friend of mine, an entrepreneur nearby here in Slovenia, producer of ultralight aircraft, and I said, listen, Ivo, I'm offering you a very good discount and a good support. Please, could you use our supercomputer? And after a couple of calls, and I really didn't understand why they don't use this, because it was so obvious. Then I went to their premises. I spoke with the head of research, a brilliant PhD engineering, etc. And they admitted, they really said, listen, we don't know how to use this, even if you are offering us. So then we really help them to bridge this gap, as I mentioned at the beginning. And after a year, they were successfully developing their new aircraft. It's a brilliant four-seater. It's called Pantera. They developed this aircraft on our supercomputer, right? So we got IDC award, which at that time was a very brilliant award, and then nothing happened for many years, because in aircraft industry, you need a lot of years for doing all the certificates, etc. But then finally the production of these aircrafts started. And immediately after that, this company was bought by a huge global producer and vendor, Tran, for $230 million. So it's not success in the sense that, we did this, but it's a huge success that with the help of HPC, they really made an excellent product. Without HPC, I'm sure it will be a fine aircraft, but probably not best in the category in the world. And being the best, being number one, it's still a huge advantage. And since then, they really doubled their production, doubled their staff here in Ajdovščina nearby. And I'm so glad to see that I gave a little bit of contribution to this success. And there are hundreds more, but we don't have time to mention them all.
Yeah, that's a very nice example. It shows, as you said, awareness. Even if awareness is there, it's the knowledge. and it's the resources that you brought. But when everything comes together, it can make a significant change. I've seen similar things happen. So, yeah. So finally, what do you see as the future trajectory of HPC adoption among SMEs? And what role do you envision EXCELLERAT and similar projects can play in shaping this future?
Centers of excellence and EXCELLERAT P2 especially, it's crucial. It's bridging the gap between academia and SMEs and industry in particular. So I'm sure that European SMEs should and will adopt new technologies, HPC among the others, to compete the global players. I still believe that Europe, it's really, for Europe, SMEs are crucial. COVID, for example, crisis, that SMEs are much more resilient than sometimes huge groupations, and this is the future. Having SMEs in Europe, strong SMEs in Europe, and enable them to use technologies with the help of centers of excellence like EXCELLERAT P2, and this is how I see the future, and I really believe it will happen.
That's great. So do I, and I think we'll both will do everything we can to make that happen. So, thanks a lot, Tomi. This was really insightful and enjoying at the same time. So, thank you again, and I hope to see you soon again in person. And have a good time until then, and good luck with your HPC business.
Thank you so much, Andreas, to inviting me, and I'm looking forward for new challenges in the future.